I decided that I'm gonna stream a little bit more because the game is fun, and if I'm gonna play, I may as well play on stream anyway. May as well record it. We've edited the deck a little bit, not a substantial amount. Basically, we've cut it down a full card just to go to 63, and we're just running the 2 Let It Go instead of 2 Noi, essentially, from where we were maybe at earlier. I'd like to maybe see if we can trim it down closer to 60, but there are still some games where you want those extra cards just so you're not getting kind of milled out and that kind of stuff. It's possible that we should be adding, just up to 67-ish, and then just adding in, including the like cantrip cards like DYB or whatever. But it's kind of up in the air a little bit. We don't know for certain if that matters, if we need to go that high. It does make our draws a little bit smoother just because we have developed your brain to draw and select our cards a little bit. However, it does make you have a lot more like dirtily garbage towards the mid-game. That's not always that good. Makes everything cost a little bit more. But it can make you a little bit more consistent too, so there's sort of a double-edged sword there. Being able to find the things that you need, while also having plenty of stuff to ink has value for sure. Let's play this, and I think I'm just going to run out the Gumbo. Say go. We're intending on playing this Quill, probably inking Tremaine. We'll see what they play. Assuming that this is Steel Song, the Flaversham is going to draw us a bunch of cards. Probably eating the Pawpsicle first. But we want to get as much ramp on the board as we can, so that the wheels are not particularly thrilling against us. I think given this, we can get rid of Let It Go, play our Wishbone, our Fishbone rather, and I think we can just get rid of Teeth and Ambitions. Actually, let's get rid of the Lady and Tremaine. We could play this next turn if we really wanted. If they have a target like Cinderella or something, that's a great hit. They probably won't. This is the flute deck, I think. Yeah. So we do have to be aware that they're trying to burn us out. I do think that this deck is pretty sweet, though. I think we can maybe get rid of Pabby. Let's start with this and the Pawpsicle here. Draw 2 cards, and then I'm thinking that we want to get rid of this Cindy since they missed on their draw, which means that we want to get rid of, say, Pabby and Gothel here. And then we can do Teeth and Ambitions, this to this. Because that makes a lot of their songs a lot worse. We can Gumbo this too. Now they don't have access to 3-drop songs. Oh, well, that makes sense. Missing on Inkables, if their whole hand is on Inkable, that's pretty rough. Or potentially 3-cost songs that they can't use. Puts them behind pretty far then. Okay. Run it back. Alright. I like the one jump ahead. Definitely don't need Scar this early. On the play, we can maybe shave a Gothel as well. I would ideally like something to go with this Maurice's Workshop. Maybe we cut the Maui too. That's actually fine. I don't think that we're going to play a Shield of Virtue here. We're going to try and Workshop on 3 and then play a couple of shields after. I believe that we want to get rid of this Teeth and Ambitions because we may end up needing this Maui. But it might be something that we get rid of in a couple of turns. This looks like the blue-steel Pawpsicle deck of some variant. Played out a Goon. We can get rid of the other Teeth and Ambitions. I wonder if we play this and say go. It will be unfortunate if they Benja us. Yeah. I've been seeing this more and more with this Workshop line. It's a bit of a fucking blowout when it happens. Because there's not really a ton that we can do about it. Short of just not playing it without being able to draw cards from it or whatever. Well, they drew their Flaversham. Ideally, we're going to use this Tamatoa to... we'll just get back to Workshop. It's fine. I don't think they're going to be particularly fast. We likely will just get rid of this Hops. If they attack, we'll just kill it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Just smash here. Just don't think that we need this Hops. We could protect Maui to make it so that the Flaversham is an awkward quest for them. Kind of don't even hate that. 'Cause I don't hate having one shield in play anyway. This protects our Maui here a little bit. Obviously, if they run it, if they run into like Tinkerbell or whatever, it'll kill our Maui. But like that's fine if that's what they're doing. Beast dealing 1 damage. You got me. I have been got. An interesting card. I'm not sure. What cards do they have? 49. They've drawn a few more than me. Develop your brain in a 60-card deck. Seems pretty ambitious, but certainly very possible. Let's say go. If we don't have to play the Shield of Virtue, I'd prefer that. I would rather run out the Tamatoa, get the Workshop, and then still have an item in my hand. But we'll see. If we draw an Uninkable, we'll definitely have to run it out. So they finally found a Quill. They don't have a lot of pressure on, it's just 2. Which is good for us. It gives us a little bit of time, not an infinite amount, of course. Well, given that we drew the Workshop, I guess I have to ink the shield to play the Tamatoa. And then we'll pass. Not my favorite line, but this is what we've got. A Pawpsicle would be good off the top so that we can draw a bunch of cards. We may need to use this offensively to actually attack what our opponent is doing. But we could, in theory, do that with the shield as well. We'll have to see what they've got for a board after this. As we have the shield, so we can untap it. We can always run out a Workshop. Since we don't have any items to get back currently, we'll have to see how many spells that they're going to use to bash our Tamatoa here. So if they draw 2 here, it's rough. Yeah. Can always attack it, untap it, attack it. Force them to battle in or use another spell. At least it would clear up the Flaversham, but with the Storm Rage on. So they've gotten all but 1 damage on it. They've used a grip of cards only for us to sing and kill their board anyway. We don't need to use that. We can just sing this now. And say go. Don't love getting rid of Tamatoa like that, but they had a pretty wide board, so we kind of got to clean it up with what we have. We're playing Beast. Okay. Sad Beast gets them more cards, which they've been able to draw a significant amount more cards than us this game so far. I wouldn't even hate drawing another Be Prepared off the top, or just double 1 jump ahead. We played like 4 cards this game. Okay. Not really much that we can do there. We got blown out a little bit by the first Benja destroying our workshop in a bad position for us. And we also have not drawn any Pawpsicles. I've found that these blue item matchups are very, very tough if you are on the receiving end of a bunch of Pawpsicle plays and you don't have any yourself, because it fuels the Flaversham. It really does just set you really far behind. I'm not sure why they targeted this instead of the Flaversham. Okay, well, at least we get to draw some cards here. We don't necessarily need to draw cards this turn. We can just do this and then say go. Then we can use this next turn, pop the shield. Yeah, I don't know why they blasted this instead of the Flaversham, because now it doesn't draw them cards. I guess if they Pawpsicle it, it will. Hades, thank you. I'm actually fine with that. I suppose if they want to keep drawing cards with this, they need it. We really would like to find another Be Prepared here off of this Flaversham, I think. And by like, I mean we kind of have to. I'm surprised they didn't get rid of this Quill. Teeth and Ambitions and a Mother Gothel. Well, I guess we're dead. Teeth can't kill this. Okay, we've died. I'm wondering if DYB is just really important because it helps you find the piece of whatever you're doing that's missing, like the first Pawpsicle or like your Be Prepareds or whatever. Even if we go up to like more cards in the deck, it might be worth just having them in there. It's good against the mill deck, and it is probably pretty solid against like the other control decks, just to find the Pabbies and stuff. Keeps the deck a little bit more consistent. It's not great against the aggro decks, because it thins your deck a little bit for the Be Prepareds, but we found a Pawpsicle. This is good with the workshop, but I think we just do this instead. Okay, that's not the best hand I've ever seen, but it'll play. Assuming that this replaces itself into something that's inkable, of course. We'll do this to play the Pawpsicle. Do this to play the one jump ahead, most likely. Okay, there's an Olaf. We are, what, 1-1? Alright, let's get rid of the Tamatoa. Play the Pawpsicle. So we've drawn a bunch of Mother Gothels. We could potentially run out of Mother Gothel just to challenge what they're doing over there. Especially with the Pawpsicle. We'll have to see what they end up playing. This looks like the Jund version. Running the Lady Tremaine package. Given that we drew that, I think we can just do the one jump ahead first and say go. This one isn't quite as aggressive, but it does still have some pretty fast starts, just playing cards to the board every turn. Mim bouncing Olaf to replay this. Well, given that we're just drawing the workshops, we're going to have to just play workshops for a couple of turns so that we can get some cards towards like a Be Prepared. Merlin. There's a Noi. Let's play this first. Draw a card. I think this is the matchup where Noi matters. It's possible that we play the Lady Tremaine next turn just to put some pressure on the board. Being a 3/4, it can threaten to trade with anything that they have, and it also just kills something. Probably a Merlin so that they draw a card, of course. It's possible that we were supposed to put one of these Gothels down just to put some juice on the board earlier. But I don't really know a great turn that we could have done that, so it's fine. This is a little rough if they play out their Gothel, but I think there's or their Tremaine, but I don't really think that there's much that I can do about that here. I feel like we just kind of have to run it out. They'll sack a Merlin. Oh, they sack a Tremaine. Interesting. It's not what I would have expected there. I guess they value these a little bit higher than the Tremaine. Or if their hand is good enough that they don't care about the card draw. I would have thought that shifting Tremaine out of Tremaine would have been pretty good for them here. Build some quests for 2. Spellbook's not great for us. This is kind of a bad matchup then if they're also playing Spellbook with Lady Tremaine. A lot of bad matchups lately, which makes the deck a little tricky to be playing in this metagame. The Teeth and Ambitions here. I think we Tremaine and hit here. Draw Maui and hit here. And I don't think I play the Mother Gothel. Likely I want to ink it to play 2 cards. Like, I don't know if what they're playing is super heavy on control or not. You kind of really never know. But the Spellbook makes it tricky either way. I think Scar really matters here. There's a Be Prepared. We play this Pawpsicle and just draw 2 instead of 3. I'm kind of considering this one jump ahead. But I feel like maybe the 2 is better. I'm just wondering if I'm supposed to set up for the Pabby combo to try and close, because I don't think we're going to be able to race the spellbook otherwise. Like, I just don't envision a world where we can race the spellbook without aiming to try and combo them. They opt to teeth, that's fine. We found a Gumbo. We can opt to Scar and Teeth. That's kind of unfortunate. I don't remember how many teeth we've inked already. 1, I think. We could also be prepared. Leaving a Scar on the field is maybe more useful. Do this, untap it. Interestingly, this can probably sing if they don't play Lady Tremaine, which of course they did. Guess I'm not surprised that they played Lady Tremaine here. That was an argument for just be preparing there. 17, 18, okay. We really need to Judy this, but we also need to deal with this Tremaine, so it's kind of tricky. I'm going to play this and draw 3 cards. So we can let it go. I just don't think with this Flower Sham is really it. We have a couple turns to find Judy here, but not many. Because they can just goat and kill us off the top. Are they going to use them of their own Minnie Mouse? They did. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we need 6 to be able to play this. This is 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. And then we can ink a shield. And we can ink, I guess, a Maleficent. We kind of need that other Gumbo. So let's ink a Maleficent, let's Tremaine. Say go. So put them at 18. Goats are still really bad for us, obviously, but they're always going to be bad for us in this spot, so else is fine. Can kill Elsa with this if we want. So let's play it and draw 3 cards. Okay, so we found another Teeth and a Pabby. So we're very close to being able to just kill them. I just don't know if we're going to be able to do it in a single turn. But we'll try. Let's do this before I fuck it up. Oh, this is not a princess. Okay, well, we definitely almost fucked that up then. Guess we'll have to rely on Scar here. It's fine, it puts damage here. If our opponent doesn't kill us, we actually kill them next turn. So it's kind of goat or bust here, or another spellbook, I suppose. Dragonfire is unfortunate, but does the Dragonfire mean that we don't have enough? I think it does, actually. That's unfortunate. We can try to draw for Judy instead, then. None of those are Judy. This can kill the Lady Tremaine. So we can afford to draw more cards. We can ink one thing, so we can afford to pay the full amount here. We did not find Judy, so I guess we lost, man. Scar not being there and this not having any damage is really unfortunate. We might not even have any Judys left in the deck to draw. But we had the ability to gain 2, and then we could heal 4 times, so we'd have been at 18. So, okay, they got me. It's a shame. We're very, very close. Very, very close. Man, some unlucky draws today with some pretty rough matchups. It's unfortunate that you need to be lucky in some of these matchups to be able to have it pan out the way that you want. There was maybe a turn in there where if I just be prepared, it would have been favorable. I have to go back and watch it. Like if I be prepared and then I have the following turn to like do the Scar stuff. I also probably threw a little bit when I definitely threw against the Elsa because I could have because it made us waste a bunch of resources to kill the Elsa when we could have just played the dragon straight up, and then that would have been better. I was trying to get too cute, thinking that killed when it didn't. 1, 2, 3. We're going second. It's a couple of one jump aheads. It's not the best hand I've ever seen. Certainly not the worst either. Well, luckily that card doesn't do anything against us, so I think we just bin the Noi. Even though it's normally pretty good against this matchup with the Felicia in play, it pretty well doesn't do anything for us. We'll do that. We'll get rid of the Tamatoa here. Yeah, maybe there's a world where I'm supposed to be a little bit more aggressive about just getting some lore through the early game, just so that I don't have to pabby so hard. Because obviously, being forced to Pabby for 20 is a lot harder than Pabbying for 16. So I'm just getting like 4 lore. Which I guess normally Flaversham is kind of there to do that. But the Noi can help with that as well. Now that I've shaved down on the Nyx, it makes it a little trickier to get sort of that chip incidental. At least compared to what I was doing before. This is a 2-3 now because of the Pan's Dagger. It sort of feels like this card doesn't do anything against us, but we'll see. I'm thinking that I'm just going to 1-jump ahead again. But it depends on what I draw. Gothel. I don't think Gothel's what I care about here. I think I'm just going to get rid of Gothel and play the 1-jump ahead. And then my intention is to play the Workshop, shield, and draw. I'm still thinking about that last match. So that was tricky. I guess not being able to get damage on our things was a little rough. Yeah, I think that one turn I sort of screwed ourselves a little bit. Character gets more damage. Okay. Let's do this. Draw a card. Oh, he doesn't seem very good against the evasive deck, so do this and pass. I'm probably going to get rid of Teeth and Ambitions so I can blow up one of their evasives, hopefully. Namari. Okay. Well, is it time to just be prepared? I don't have any items in our bins. This Tomato is a little awkward, but we may as well just be prepared. And then we may even ink this Tamatoa if it's awkward. Like if the Maleficent is more useful. Draw a couple of Flavershams. We'll ink one and say go. One Flaversham is probably plenty, but we can maybe keep a second one. In case they do something like that. We do have something in the bin now, so we can actually just run this out. Get the Shield of Virtue back. For this Noi, say go. Tika. An 8-6 Reckless, huh? It can trade with my Tamatoa favorably. It's kind of awkward. And unexpected. Let's do this quest, get the item back. Untap Tamatoa, put this Maui in the bin, say go. It's possible that I should be playing this Fishbone Quill just to ink more cards, but we're already doing okay on ink. It's a large Reckless character. Very big. I haven't seen them be playing a second color yet. Unless they've inked it all. Could just be very red heavy, I suppose. we wait. Card soldiers. Okay. Pawpsicle. What's the play here? Do we just let them kill our thing? I guess we don't have to with the Shield of Virtue. Maybe we don't care about this workshop. Definitely don't care about this Flowersham anymore. Can draw one more, and then we can ink. I guess this Judy Hops. Shield of Virtue back. Untap it. Probably don't need all these shields. Just say go. Then bash my Flowersham. I'm not sure that I care that much. Hopefully they quest with this. I guess it doesn't matter one way or the other if they do. Okay, we've been Flowershammed to the bin. Okay. So I'm wondering if we can Pabby Teeth and kill them here with the Shield of Virtue. We can do 2-4. Yeah, I think we can. Assuming that we don't draw any extra items. Or draw any extra cards. 5. Do that. And then I guess we don't even need to use the teeth, so we can play another item. This is lethal, right? This shield, smash here, Pawpsicle, Pawpsicle. All right, we have Pawpsicle. Okay, not a bad game overall, decent finish. Not 100% sure what they were doing over there, but sometimes it be like that sometimes. Excited to see if my boxes ship from Amazon that I pre-ordered. I'm very much looking forward to building this deck in paper. Because I feel like it's probably better in best of threes and in paper than it is on Pixelborn. And the metagame shouldn't adapt nearly as quickly. Yeah, absolutely. The list that I had been running is under the Pawpsicle control. That one's pretty good. This one has a couple of revisions that I'm not 100% sure about just yet. I think we mull those two for sure. And maybe the Gothel. Not a great extra run out, but we can do this. and I think we do play the Shield of Virtue. And our intention is going to be to go one jump ahead into Flaversham. We're against Steel Song, so likely we need a little bit more mill, but we don't actually have access to it right now, which is unfortunate. We can maybe hold Teeth and Ambitions. The Judy Hops is sometimes good against them if they play the Lantern, but it's not like really what I want to focus on against them most of the time. So they did play the Lantern. Given that we drew the Maui, I think I'm fine getting rid of the Teeth and Ambitions to play the Flaversham here, because they're not going to be able to shift next turn anyway. So at this website, there's a launcher that you can get that will help with that. It installs the game, and it also will put the pictures as well. So that'll make your life a little bit easier, hopefully. So play an Ariel here. Okay, I think we should ink Tamatoa for sure. I feel like doing Maui and just hitting the Cinderella is probably where we want to be most of the time, rather than trying to draw cards into Ariel here. Because it also makes singing with Ariel a little awkward. And I don't think that I tap this unnecessarily. I think we just do this. They just cast Queen, okay. So since they just opted to cast Queen, I think we play the Shield of Virtue. We do this now, just to see what we can get out of it. Ink one of these. We could let it go on the Queen here. Could let it go and just play another Maui. It's not like these Mauis are particularly exciting, but they do threaten anything that's tapped pretty well. I don't love ramping them with Let It Go there, but overall I think it's a better card than Dragonfire simply because it's inkable. A lot of times we do need to end up inking it, which, you know, not my favorite play, but if they're looking to let it go here, then they're going to let it go, right? So how am I going to deal with this Cindy, I guess? Do we just keep playing more like big threats? Probably. Like, they don't really have a great way to wipe the board. What if we just play a Pabby and say go? Like, presumably at some point they're gonna wheel to try and, like, get around what we're doing here. And if they do, we're just gonna smash them with our Mauis and stuff, and then we'll be caught up again. And they just wheel it now so that they can attack something with the Cindy. Killing Flaversham isn't bad. Grab your sword, sure. And Gumbo would be a pretty good draw. Okay, so they did opt to kill there. It's fine. So they have exactly wheel. I'd like to make them use it. And I want it to not be amazing. I want it to be, like, okay. I think we get rid of the Noi. This would be better if we had one more ink so that I could Maleficent here and then kill these so that they had to pay resources for it. But I can kill the Cindy and the Ariel here. And we can leave the Grand Pabby untapped even if we want, but we can also quest with it. And we get to keep the Scar. I think we do that. So let's quest with this. We go Maui, Maui. Play the Scar. Scar hits here. We untap, we say go. Okay, so they ink, and then they wheel. Woof, that is a rough fucking wheel for us. Okay. Was not a very good wheel. Okay, what's the plan? If we assume that they just, like, have more swords, what's the plan? I think we have to kill most of this stuff. We can't kill this. We could Maui and kill this, and then Teeth on something. I'm not even sure that I care about that. Maybe we just try to draw some cards, or just get some more ink. Let's do that. Let's play this and Quill. And then we can Quill this thing. We can just play this thing. And then I suspect that it's fine if we just, like, smash this into the queen. And then I'm also almost okay doing Teeth and Ambitions. Like, how many queens are gone? 1? I'm almost okay Teeth and Ambitioning and getting rid of this Stitch, potentially. Because the way that we win this game is we just don't die for a few turns, so I'm kind of fine with this. Let's sing this, damage, and if we kill the Stitch, then they're less likely to have cards to draw. So we do that, we ink this, we say go. Yeah, they play another Tinker, that's fine. We don't have enough ink to be able to do both of these. Unfortunately, we're 1 short. But we can play this, draw a card. We can ink this Gothel. Just play Maui. Just bash Tinker. I think say go. Like, I'm fine trading into Mauis and stuff. Okay, we can kill the Sad Beast with the Maleficent so they can't draw. And we have the ability to draw a handful of cards here as well. Smash. Smash is probably our worst case here because they actually used a spell instead of one of their characters. But we'll see what we draw. Be Prepared would be very good. And it is, as advertised, very good. So we draw 2, we Be Prepared. And we eat the Teeth and Ambitions and say go. Obviously, they can still be prep, or they can still wheel us whenever. So they probably should have used their lanterns there, but it's okay. We'll do this. Play our Gumbo. Draw 2 cards. Gumbo, Gumbo. And we can ink the teeth and ambitions and say go. Mare, appreciate the follow. Let the storm rage on. We have been stormed. It's a Rapunzel. So let's do this first. Draw 2. Let's play Pawpsicle. Draw 4. I don't care about that Rapunzel at all. Let's play this shield. Alright, let's ink this thing. Ink, Flaversham. We can hold this Gothel for later, but let's just do this. Say go. We have so much ink now that the only thing that we're kind of concerned about is Whole New World milling us out. I don't know where all my Tamatoas are. I know that I inked some of them earlier. I probably should have Gumboed this, so that they couldn't kill it. I guess they would have been able to kill it with that anyway. It's fine. Okay, they Whole New Worlded. They might mill us out with Whole New World, unironically, since we haven't found any Tamatoas to be able to clean up what they're doing. These are all princesses, so I can go 6, 12, 14, 16. Let's lead on this one then. Tremaine. Tremaine. Pass. They're all items. These are all items currently. So we have quite a few items in play for our Tamatoas if we ever actually get one into play. Yeah, this is an item deck. Yep. Don't find. Okay, so they didn't find it. So we did find a Tamatoa here. So we quest with Tremaine, quest with Tremaine. So they have 3 cards. I think our play is to be prepared here. Play Tremaine or play Tamatoa here. Get the poisoned apple back. And then say go. And then if they don't kill Tamatoa, we just kill them, even through a single Whole New World. But if they double Whole New World us, we die. Yep, we're dead. Okay, we've been milled. Tamatoas were on the bottom of the deck, so we had to draw too many to get down to something where we could actually put threat on them. Happens. They needed to get to 10 and then wheel into wheel. And they did. So they set themselves up a line where they can actually have one in that spot, and then they found it. That's what you should be doing in those spots, because they weren't necessarily going to be beating a Tamatoa in that spot. Normally, I think that matchup is pretty favorable, but not finding the Tamatoa was rough there. Like, I wonder if we should have just tried to dig faster to get down there, to try and put it into play, because they don't really have a lot of answers to it, but I don't think that we really squandered any real spots outside of that. Let's just get rid of to be prepared. Could use ramp. Get rid of let it go. And the Judy as well then. I see. What if we just found all of our Tamatoas? Well. Such is life. We play a Pawpsicle. Quill is good. We can maybe run out a Gothel to threaten the Captain Hook. Given our hand texture, I think that's fine. Makes it so that it can't attack. We can always Pawpsicle it and Teeth and Ambitions and kill something else. We play a 2-3 Hercules. That's fine. Guess we're not Teeth and Ambitioning here then. So if they have Benja, this play sucks so bad. And I have been running this out. I've lost like 3 games today because we play the workshop on 3 and then they just Benja it. And then we don't get the draw off Quill. So I think I'm just going to play Quill. Ink the Pabby because it's a little early and say go. Against Steel, generally you don't need the Pabby combo, at least not the full thing, so it's okay. Even Red Steel. Red Steel is a little bit worse in that regard, but nothing too crazy. Now this is a little awkward because we have this Maui that doesn't do anything. Do we Quill again? I don't think so. Just say go. Yeah, definitely gonna get Benja'd here, I suspect. Makes the workshop version a lot worse. If people are playing more item destruction. They go for Hercules, sure. I'm not a huge fan of Hercules. The resist 2 is nice, but it still dies to Maui, which is obviously pretty awkward. I need to keep inking stuff because we actually need to have ink to do stuff. If we fall behind on ink, it is a bit of a struggle once you actually draw the items to do anything, so we don't necessarily need Let It Go in this spot since we have the Tremaine. If they ever attack, like with the hook, Gothel's still favorable. They may even just kill the Gothel, sure. Like we might just run out Tremaine to kill the Captain Hook here then, depending upon what we draw. I don't particularly care if they're blasting my stuff like that. And I don't think I'm going to be prepared here. I'll just Tremaine, and then if they play something that's much more valuable, we can be prepared the turn after. They Tremaine me back, sure. Sure. If they play another character of any type, I'm definitely in for be prepareding. Dinner Bell, certainly interesting here. I think now is a fine time to be prepared. So they have one card. They're likely a control deck if they're playing some of these Tremaines and such. And then it sort of cleans up the board so that we can try to dig a little bit deeper here. Let's do that. It'd be nice to find Flowersham. Ask and ye shall receive, I suppose. Be prepared in a Pawpsicle. Wonder if I should just bash this Queen of Hearts. Nah. What if instead of doing that, we just drew like 10 cards? I don't really care that much about Dinner Bell in this spot. I think we'll get rid of Judy and the Maui and say go. We have Scar that can hit everything that they've got. We could also be prepared. I think, given what they just did there, I'm going to Scar, hit both of these, quest at this, and then untap it, which is a pretty sweet line. So we can do this first. Don't need all these Pawpsicles. We can untap it, Scar. Scar kills this. Untap, kills this. Untap. We can Gumbo it. And then we probably don't need all of these B preps then, given what our hand is. I'm going to keep the workshop because I can draw an extra card with this, but if they have Teeth and Ambitions here, they're likely going to Teeth this and then Dinner Bell and draw 2 cards, but I think if they do, that's fine. And if they do kind of anything else, it doesn't really matter. We just Maleficent this. We Flaversham, hitting this again. We ink here with the Quill. And we untap that and say go. Obviously, we're not progressing the board a ton on questing, but we're drawing cards, and our opponent is not really progressing their board much, which is generally pretty favorable for the person who's just adding to their board. Now we can probably ignore the Maui and just like attack around it. Because if we attack with all of these, hit the Pawpsicle again. Ink the 1, jump ahead. Can untap Flaversham. And just say go. And then the Maui will have to suicide into one of these 2. Teeth is still good, of course. They Teeth here and then do that. Whole new world. Sure. They got to sing it with their Maui because we played games. I see. Well, hopefully that doesn't punish us too badly. If their play is just to do Queen of Hearts, I think we'll be alright. I wish I had my other Gumbo. Have I played Magic? I have played Magic. I played quite a bit of Magic for a lot of years. Went to the Pro Tour once. That was my peak. 2, 4, 5. So that'll put us at 12. Do I have enough damage to Pabby them? No. I don't think so. We can get to 12. I think they're both pretty skillful card games. I mean, Magic just has a lot more cards. This one only has the 2 sets, but I think it's a pretty fun game. I would say that this one needs a little bit more refinement as far as the like the competitor rules and things like that before you need to worry too much about it, but let's do this. In this case, I think we don't need this workshop. We've got plenty of cards. So we can gain 4. We could also just kill this and this. No, there's 400 cards. I don't think it needs any sort of banned or limited list. And we're a million miles away from that being a thing that is even worth considering, I think. Let's let it go here. And then I guess just play this and say go. Like, there's nothing in the game that is so egregious that it needs to be banned currently. Everything has counters. Everything is pretty even. Like, no deck is vastly superior over any other. Like, there are decks that people play a lot more just because they're good decks. But there's nothing that, like, demands any sort of action. And by the time that we even get towards comp play, there's going to be another 200 cards, which is another 30% increase. Or I guess another 50% increase over what we have now. So by that point, there already might be something. Do I know which costs more? I mean, it depends on the format that you play. Currently, Lorcana is a little bit pricier than it probably normally would be, just because the next wave of product hasn't come out yet. The mass stores like Walmart and stuff will get them on the 1st, and then I believe, like roughly the week after that, the second wave should be coming out as well. What if we do this? Keeping Judy hops to see if we maybe want to either blow up an item or just ink it. Given what we're doing here, I think I do play the Shield of Virtue, but we're likely going to ink the Judy hops. I mean, your average Lorcana deck is like $200 to $300 if you buy all the fancy cards, but you can get quite a bit cheaper, especially buying singles. And that'll keep going down a little bit as more cards come out and more product availability. Like, the availability piece is pretty big. Kuzco. When it's banished, you may draw a card. Sure. Yeah, it's not unreasonable where this game is at. Yeah, if you want a meta deck, it's a couple $100. Like, it's not anything that's crazy. You can pick up most of the like commons and uncommons for kind of dirt cheap. Steel purple. Okay, so we want to be running out this Maui this turn. And maybe we want to do the Teeth and Ambitions as well. We probably bash the Olaf and the Maleficent here. Given where we're at, I suspect that we get rid of this. We go Maui. Maui kills Olaf. We could just one jump ahead with the Flaversham, actually. And that'll set up Scar next turn instead of the Teeth and Ambitions. That might be better. Though they can now Maleficent the Flaversham and do Bounce Mim and smash it, but if they commit that much into dealing with Flaversham, then the Scar will be able to kill the rest of the board, and then we have Maui and a Scar. Yeah, I suspected this is what they were working towards, which is why I was a little concerned about using the Teeth and Ambitions there, just to kill their thing that bounces and draws, but Scar can clean this up pretty well if it wants, or it can hit the Maui and kill the Mim with the Scar. Get rid of this. We Scar. Yeah, I think we Scar and kill the Mim. this way, because we can untap it. And then we kill this with the Maui and say go. You get to draw a card with the Cusco, but that's fine. They fire the cannons, sure. There are a lot of strong decks. Like, the red-purple has a lot of versions that you can build. Like, this engine, the Amethyst engine of, like, the Maleficents, the Mims, you know, the cheap creatures. Like, all of that has a lot going for it. Like, there's a lot of pieces there that are pretty strong. Do I want to kill the Maleficent with the teeth? I don't think so. Like, there's a lot going on in this space that's pretty strong. And then, like, if you combine it with red, you can kind of play the control deck. If you combine it with steel, it's a little bit of a different style of control. You can combine it with amber, and that gives you a lot more aggro, like more aggressive. They choose to let the storm rage on, sure. Surprised I didn't sing it to play something else. I guess if their hand is just all removal. That is a terrible card. Okay. Yeah, they work well with the Merlin. They work well with Arthur. Like, that's kind of the whole package. You know, you got the Maleficents, you've got the Arthur, you've got, you know, the Merlin Rabbit, like the whole deal. Like, this shit is really hard to deal with from any reasonable control side, just because it's just got a lot going on that everything draws another card, which is obviously really annoying to deal with. Hit this, hit it again, untap, say go. Because, like, now if they bounce this stupid rabbit, they draw 2 cards. Like, this functionally is very similar to, like, what Surfer Stitch was doing in the last format, where, you know, you're doing a bunch of stuff and then you just draw 50 cards. Like, they've drawn 10 cards more than we have, and we're the control deck. It's really hard to deal with. We keep firing our cannons, which is not ideal. I don't think any of these are princesses. I don't know if I have to be prepared just yet. I think I can wait 1 turn so we can play this to draw a card first. Let's Gothel, I think, and say go. So then at least we have an option to battle them instead of be prepareding. Or they may try to kill this. Perhaps not enabling Let the Storm Rage on would have been better, because then they maybe would be more inclined to commit to the board. Hopefully they play one more thing. Hopefully they don't bounce the goat. Ugh. That is unfortunate. I think we have to do this. Tamatoa. I don't know if that'll be fast enough to kill before our opponent is able to kill us, but we can try. We had a weird draw that was sort of slow on the old 1-for-1-ing, where we're just going to lose to this Arthur here. We're actually just dead on board. I guess before we concede, we can try to draw into something to kill the Arthur, which we did not. Now we're 1 short, as we can tap it with the Maui, but we can't kill it. Okay, we have perished. Bummer. I really don't think this deck is necessarily that good on the ladder, especially right now. If we were facing less aggro decks and more I have not watched the Disney movie Wish yet. I do not have any kids, and I do not always have time to watch everything that comes out. I watch a lot of things that come out, but I still want to make this deck work, but I don't know what I need to do to be more consistent with against some of these decks. Though the mill loss was unfortunate. I don't necessarily think that was something that we could have played around too much, just because too many of our cards were on the bottom. I'm going to try something and play a couple more. The biggest weakness of the deck is aggro and just stumbling. If you don't draw enough cards, you stumble a little bit, then your opponents can sort of go underneath you, which is unfortunate. Generally, you have a lot of card draw, but you have to make your deck weird a lot because there's so many aggressive decks, there's so many other control decks. Like, you have to be sort of playing for all of them. It sort of falls into the classic, there's no bad threats, there's only bad answers. So if your opponents play cards that are good against, they play to the board, they're playing a lot of these cards that just draw another card, and then they quest a little bit. You have to clean those up, and then they still have threats because all of their cards have drawn a card. And that, in the case of like the opponent that we just played, they didn't even really need most of those steel cards that they used. A lot of them were just, generic removal. A lot of it was generic removal. It also happened to draw a card, but we died because they just played a bunch of purple shit and killed us with it. Because we didn't have enough velocity in cards. We didn't have the ability to do, like, we were 1 or 2 for 1ing with what they were doing, but they were 2 or 3 for 1ing with all of the things that they were doing. So it's a little difficult to keep up sometimes. Especially on the draw, which we were last game as well. Let's get rid of the Maleficent here. We can keep the Teeth and the Gothel. Like, we're dead here. We have a 0% chance on the draw in these matchups. Pawpsicle might fix that a little bit, actually. I don't know if we need 2 Gothels. 1 Gothel maybe is going to be valuable here, though. At least to stymie the aggression. I don't know if this was the same opponent. It's possible. Magic Broom. Interesting. So we did find a Be Prepared. I could run out Gothel here. I think I get rid of Let It Go and run out the Gothel. And then, given what our hand looks like, I think I'll heal it and pass. It means that it's unlikely to just get blasted by something from them, and it gives us some options as far as keeping it alive. We'll likely play the Gumbo Pot and the Shield of Virtue. Arthur is probably the best card against this deck. I don't have a good answer for Arthur at all. Like, there is just no card in these colors that is a clean answer to Arthur. Like, anywhere, basically. In these colors. I understand that Smash is good against Arthur, but in these colors, there is nothing. Unfortunately, we're like a full-ass turn. Because we're on the draw, we're like 2 fucking turns away from Maui. The problem with Felicia is that they just attack with any of their other idiots before Arthur. Because it has Reckless, it's a forced attack. Like, you can't control it, so they just kill it. You need something while it's untapped is the issue. Like, I have 100 things that I can do. I have 100 things that I can do to it once it's tapped, but there's nothing that these colors can do outside of launch, which is not a good card. I tried it. It's just not good against any other matchup at all. Like, maybe we've got a shot because they're playing something... Yeah. So it's whenever it quests, you may return another chosen character of yours to your hand to gain 2 lore. Yeah, Dragonfire at 5. Killed our 3-drop with our 5-drop. Yeah. Yeah. In the world of killing 3-drops, using our 5-drop is not necessarily the most exciting thing I've ever seen. Like, I weirdly don't even think Maui is where we want to be anymore with this. Like, it's just not going to kill anything. We're going to need to be prepared eventually. I think it's just this. And then we pop the Shield of Virtue here. We got another one anyway. I'm thinking about Teeth ambitioning the Magic Broom here. I don't think that Dragonfire is necessarily it, but it's possible that there's versions that can do that. I'm still a full-ass turn away from that working. Luckily, the Gothel is sort of keeping us in this. So we can sing this. We can put the damage here and do this, and then Gumbo these two. Then say go. I mean, luckily the Gothel has been pretty good for us here because we've been able to heal it. So it makes it... Yeah, I thought about Ratigan, but Ratigan requires that you have a card in play. Was I? No, I was not. I was talking about Launch. Launch is sacrifice an item to deal 5 damage, but it's uninkable and it costs 3. I never really had enough items that I wanted to also throw one at their Arthur for it to be favorable. Are they going to bounce Mickey or are they going to bounce the Arthur? If they bounce the Arthur, that's fine, because now we can just hit here. I think we Gumbo, ink this, Maui this thing. Kind of want to keep Gumbo. It's been quite good for us here, but we can quest with this and just say go. If their play is just to, like, throw their Arthur in the bin for 2 lore, that's fine. I would very much like to play this game in paper, but I don't even have enough cards from this set. Like, I've opened 1 box so far, because that's all I've been able to get access to. So there's Arthur again, which is not a surprise. Just going to show up with a starter deck. So we can play the Quill, ink a B prep, and then attack with this. Given this outcome, I think we do this, get rid of the Noi, and then say go. I want to keep the Mother Gothel back, because it does threaten the Arthur. It's possible that I just haven't been running out enough Gothels in the early game. It is a pretty large card that makes it so that it's kind of awkward for them to attack with stuff like Arthur. Because, like, they can attack with it now and bounce this, and that's fine. Or they can bounce the goat, but we do get to kill the other one. I'm strongly even considering doing Be Prepared. we'll have to see what our draw looks like. Draw this. Couple of DYB. One is probably fine. I don't know if I need two. Let's cast one and see what we've got. Draw Tamatoa, sure. Yeah, I think I just be prepared for 2 Arthurs. That's not bad. Because we know that they're going to play a goat. That's 4. And a Captain Hook. That's fine. So we just blast their goat with the Maleficent. Could also get Tamatoa back first, just so that we can put pressure on faster. We're functionally at 15 here if we do that. But then we've got our Tamatoa in play. 15 is a little rough versus being at 14. We can kill them in like a couple turns, so there's something to be said for that. Yeah, if they get a bounce, it's pretty annoying. That I can agree with. It's probably just this and say go. It's like increasingly annoying if they get any bounce and if they find something to work with it, whereas this just like doesn't have anything that works favorably with it. We can just do this. Let's get a Pawpsicle. Play our Pawpsicle here. Bash there. Ink Judy. I probably should have kept Judy, actually, because if they play a Spellbook, I should be able to race a Spellbook. That's fine. With the double Tamatoa, I should be able to race 1 Spellbook. Cindy, sure. They wanted the card in their hand, so it's probably a Cindy. Let's play this. Let's quest with Tamatoa. Probably could have played the Tamatoa first, I guess. That would have made sense. So we could have played another item. But let's get the Quill. We're going to ink the Quill. I'm going to quest here. I'm going to cast Teeth and Ambitions, and then, like, put damage here and here. We just don't want them to have anything in play. And then I'm not healing the damage here because, like, there's nothing that they can do that's going to out-damage what they're doing. And if we rip a Pabby off the top, we just get to... they had a Mim Dragon, I see. That is fine. They are dead. GG. I feel like we won a couple more, but I haven't really been keeping enough track of the record. Should probably do a better job of that. Well, we'll play a couple more games. I think I'll finish out this set and then probably be done. But even if this deck is not the best deck, I'm pretty committed to playing it because I find it to be very fun to play, especially when it's working. But yeah, I enjoy this, and I think it's going to be really fun to play in paper. I'm quite excited for that. I've played a lot of Magic and things like that, and I am generally very drawn towards the draw a ton of cards kind of decks anyway, so this is kind of my jam, which is one of the reasons that I made it to begin with. I think we're on board to just, like, one jump ahead into, like, Maui, and then we can start doing, like, workshops and Shield of Virtues. I have not played Flesh and Blood. I ended up going towards Lorcana when I was looking to do a new card game. I ended up going towards Lorcana instead of Flesh and Blood. But it's possible, like, there just isn't a lot of Flesh and Blood in my area either. Like, I work at a card store, and there's just no Flesh and Blood locally at all, which makes it obviously a little tricky. Like, I could drive for it, but I figured with a new game coming out, I may as well jump on the board for that instead. Yeah, it just seems like a fun color combo, like, doing all this item stuff and you know, draw 10 cards or whatever is just, like, kind of my jam. I've shown you my hand. It's full of random nonsense. We have drawn a Fishbone Quill. Well, that certainly makes my one jump ahead not as important. Let's do this and just ink it and say go, and then we can go down this line. If they have a Benja and they blow up the Quill, I just, like, don't care. Like, obviously I'd prefer if they didn't do that, but it kind of doesn't matter that much. They have an awful lot of cards in their hand compared to us, though. We definitely don't have anything to hide. Hey, Hop, appreciate the follow. Yeah. We've shown them all of our secrets. I don't really love this card over, like, the Nothing to Hide over Develop Your Brain, because I feel like it just doesn't have text compared to Develop Your Brain, which lets you look at 2 cards. So you cantrip, but you get selection out of it, versus just getting nothing, which is kind of what you get with the other card. So it's kind of like weird. I guess since they know some of our hand, we can probably do it this way. I don't feel like we need to be prepared anytime soon. It just doesn't seem relevant. Honestly, given that we drew this, we probably should have inked that one, but I don't think we're going to have so many cards next turn that it'll matter. Simba. I hope whatever they're drawn to is sweet, because they've drawn a lot of cards. Maybe they're just full-on Pabby combo, and they're just hoping that we do the damage to them. Jasmine, they must be full-on Pabby. Well, they found a Quill of their own. Can appreciate that. It's a good card. Makes me wish I had inked this Teeth a little bit more even then. Flaversham. Definitely don't need this Let It Go. I like that turn. That felt pretty good for the mirror here. Or sort of like the mirror. We're inking a Flaversham. Sure. We inked Flaversham and there's Simba. That's kind of neat. Kind of a neat card here. Like, it makes those random, like, shitters a little better. It's kind of weird with Grammatala in the deck, I guess, but the rest of it feels kind of sweet. Well, I don't think I'm going to blast Grammatala here. Send her to the fucking Shadow Realm with a Maleficent doesn't feel like something I really need to be doing. We could, in theory, send her to the Shadow Realm with a Tremaine, I guess. Does that even really feel that necessary? I guess. It's fine. Whatever. Sure. We need another item. I would also accept a Wheel of Fortune from our opponent to draw 7 more cards. That would be neato. They're going to kill Our Lady Tremaine. Maybe they'll send it to the Inkwell. That would be cool. Hades? Blue Hades? Are they debating between drawing cards? What is this? When it is banished, you may put it into your Inkwell face down and exerted. I sure hope wherever they're going is awesome. Because they are definitely out here digging deep. Alright, we draw a new hand. We get rid of this. We quest here. Feel like we can DYB. Honestly, the noise not terrible here. We'll just draw this, I guess. This we won't need. Just say go. So they have, like, infinite cards that go into their Inkwell. But I don't know what the payoff is there for. Like, what... I've played these colors. Did they have, like, Goofy and stuff? Like the 10-drop? Or the 10-10? He's, what, a 9-drop or something? I mean, that doesn't feel terrible. I wish that card was inkable on its own, but maybe they don't have so many uninkables elsewhere that it doesn't matter. Like, because a lot of them just go into the Inkwell anyway. Okay. I think we're supposed to play this. Pop the Tinkerbell. We could pop their Fishbone Quill, but it's a bit day late, dollars short situation, I think. But I kind of want to get the hops into play, and I don't want to pop any of our items. So let's just do this. If they draw a card, it's fine. We'll say go. Rebel, appreciate the follow. I feel pretty favored right now, but again, I don't know what they're doing yet, so it's kind of tricky to know what their payoffs are for having big mana. I'd like to get this Tamatoa into play, but I think we're probably going to have to Pabby combo them, most likely. So we're going to use this Tamatoa to try and draw some cards, basically. If we get to quest with hops, that'd be pretty cool. Bell, that's a good payoff. Certainly a good payoff. Let's quest with hops here. Let's play the Pawpsicle first. So we found a Pabby. We also happen to find a Let It Go, which we can use on the Bell if we want. Cost. We can get 2 more ink if we want. That would give us 11. So we could play a 6, which is not really that relevant here. So given that, we may as well just play Maleficent. We definitely don't need this Maui at all. The rest of it we can keep just in case what they play is too strong. But we found one of our Pabbies. I assume that they're wheeling, but with the amount of ramp other players, like with the falling down the rabbit hole that they have, it seems like it would be weird for them to do that, I guess. So let's quest here. We could just be prepared. Kind of don't hate that. Just clean up what's on the board. Play down a Tamatoa. Draw some cards with the Shield of Virtues. Draw, draw, draw. There's a Gumbo pot, so I think we don't need this anymore now that we have the additional Maleficent. And we definitely don't need Flaversham. We can play this and just draw 2 cards. That's okay, because we have the other item in our hand. And just say go. If they don't have an answer for Tamatoa, they'll probably just concede, because there's not really much coming back from this large of a Tamatoa. It should just be exclamation deck. We'll send you over to a version of the deck that we're playing right now. So we do that. We have this. This quest for 12. 13. 14. Alright, GG. We crabbed them. They've been crabbed. We're playing a version that switched out a couple of cards. I've been trying to narrow down a more consistent list. That's been a lot of today. Just trying to figure out where that that fits. And I think overall it's been okay. The version that we're playing right now. It's been pretty good against control at the very least, which is nice. So we'll see if we're playing 1 or 2 more games. We'll do this best of 4 set. See if we can gain some points on stream here. Why is it good against Amber Steel Songs? Well, mostly because it's a Be Prepared deck that also is a ramp deck. So the wheel portion is generally pretty bad against that sort of strategy. So if I put 2 or 3 extra ink into play and then you wheel me, I just have more ink to work with. I wipe your board with a Be Prepared, and then I still have a lot more stuff that I can do. So generally, like, the way that they play to the board is like they play out all their stuff, and then they wheel. Well, if the wheel doesn't have that like parity breaking thing going for it, then it's not really that good. It's okay. It's still okay for sure. But it can struggle a little bit because of that. So I don't know what our opponent is on, so I'm just going to Maleficent and Pawpsicle. Historically, the wheel deck, or the wheel decks, are not the best against ramp. And it's specifically because the ramp cards are able to just ignore what they're doing and kind of go around it. They inked a green card. Our hand is fine. We can just get rid of DYB, play another Pawpsicle. One jump head, pretty good. Probably play that over any of this other stuff. But yeah, that's generally why, is like you can ramp, and then when they wheel you, it wheels you into something that blows up their board. Like Scar can kill their whole board, essentially. So can the... so can Be Prepared. So anytime that they wheel, they're essentially wiping their own board, as long as you have the ink to do other stuff and go around it. So given our hand, I think I can get rid of... Well, I was going to get rid of Mother Gothel, but that's fine. We'll do that and we'll one jump ahead. I'll hold on to the shield for now. I would have liked to have kept that because it can actually kill what they're doing, but I thought I was clicking on Gothel and I clicked on that one. So we'll roll with the punches here. I'm going to probably try to jam the Flaversham and then just work towards killing them with Scar or whatever. Given this board, we can just Flaversham here. That depends on how they built their deck, mostly. If they built their deck in such a way that... if they built their deck in such a way that they're more control and less aggro, then a lot of times you can Pabby combo them towards the end of the game because they get to the spot where they're just, you know, fighting you with Maleficents and Tremaines and whatever. the same as what you have, and be prepared, and they're not forwarding their game plan. But the versions that have, like, Arthur and Pinocchio and that kind of stuff, spell books, are a little trickier because they can just aggro you out. They can choose to beat a beatdown and fuck you up that way. So I guess we just play towards be prepared here then for next turn. Let's do workshop. And then Shield of Virtue. Draw a card. We don't need to develop our brain. Can do this and just draw some cards. So there's a Quill. That's really nice. Now hopefully our opponent isn't on wheel. I suppose they could be. Normally this color combination doesn't necessarily run wheel, but they could. If they shift the Tinkerbell, blast this, and then just attack and kill it, I'm fine with that. We'll just untap and be prepared. It's kind of the board that we're setting up here anyway. If our opponent doesn't wipe us, we have a couple of options. They could be playing the mill deck too. That's possible. Which means that we almost certainly should Quill. But with this Robin Hood, it's kind of unlikely. Hopefully they just play a character here. Oh, they Benja and blow up the workshop. Sure. That's fine. It slows down our draw a little bit, but I don't think it's going to ruin our life. We don't really need this Maui. And I don't think that we care that much about this Pawpsicle then. We'll just use it to draw cards, and then we'll be prep. Kill what they've got, and then we'll say go. Now if they're going to wheel, it's annoying, but manageable. Yeah, I really quite like Fractal's cases. And their partnership has been quite good. Big fan. We could play Tamatoa just to get something on the board. I kind of don't hate that, actually. I don't think we really need this Teeth and Ambitions here if we have the double Gothel in hand. We can just play Tamatoa, scoop up a Pawpsicle, and say go. And then we can just play a bunch of items and just start Tamatoaing them to death. This color combo doesn't necessarily have really clean answers to a 5/8. We could even get shield back and then untap the Tamatoa as well if we want. It would cost 4 to do that. Play the Quill, the Pawpsicle, Gumbo. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we, okay, so they wheel us. That's fine. I almost kind of want to just do another Tamatoa then. Noi is not what we need here. I'm in the market to Pawpsicle for sure. I almost want to grab Inkwell with this, since we have a shield. Guess we can play the shield first to make this bigger. I don't think I'm playing Tamatoa this turn. I think I'm going to play this Maui instead. Just do this. And then we'll quest here. I guess we don't need the Quill. Take the Gumbo pot. Take Gumbo and heal these. I want to heal the Maui further. I think we need to. We'd make it so the Captain Hook can't trade with it, but if the Captain Hook trades with it, like, that's fine. most likely. They could bounce it to our hand and then wheel again, which makes the quill a lot stronger as well. Or they could ring the bell and then kill it. Sure. Not much we can do to stop that here. Another wheel would be annoying because it would get rid of our Tamatoa. Yeah, maybe getting back the quill would have been stronger there and just playing out the Noi instead of the Gumbo pot. Though I guess that forced them to attack that way. Well, we drew a quill on our own here. It's actually good. Let's play the quill. Ink this. We can ink the hops. We can run out the Tamatoa. Grab a Pawpsicle here. And we can Gumbo this once and say go. I quite like the quill because it makes the ramp a lot less effective. We do still have a Pabby, I believe. We haven't drawn any. Hey. From the PC, appreciate the sub. Thanks for that. I don't know why the notification didn't pop up for me, but looked like I saw it pop up on the stream, so I really appreciate that. So they opted a whole new world. It's fine. They found another Ring Your Bell, which is a bit annoying. But not entirely unlikely here. I think we Maui this. We Lady Tremaine. Kill the Cheshire Cat. And I think I can't quite play the Tamatoa, unfortunately. We can ink this. We can still set ourselves up for the Pabby reasonably well, I think. We haven't drawn either of them. We also have to draw it with the Teeth and Ambitions, and I don't know if we have our other Gumbo pot anywhere. We have a pretty spicy deck left, but I'll have to see what our opponent does. That likely should get a Be Prepared. We can Be Prepared it and also play Tamatoa. But we have to ink two things, which is fine. We can ink the Scar. We can actually play... We can keep this if we want. If we play the Tamatoa and take something else first. We probably actually want the Pawpsicle, though. We can just get rid of the Poisoned Apple. We don't need it that badly. Oh, now my Tamatoa's... I fucked it. Ah! I fucked it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I needed to do this first because I needed to kill their guys and then play Tamatoa. But, whatever. Can't imagine that they can gain that much out of this in one turn if they also want to deal with Tamatoa, though it does mean that they can sing here, which isn't... That's really the problem, is that they have the ability to sing now. We fucked it. Hopefully they don't just delete our whole world here. Which they can. We've not set ourselves up for success in that turn. Yeah, if we lose, we'll know why. Because this thing can very easily just, like, quest 6 times and kill us. Maybe the correct answer was to just do it anyway and blow it up. It did make them use their Ring the Bell, I suppose. Oh my god, they're gonna go to 16? Jesus, okay. Well, we did that to ourselves. But it's fine. We did find a Pabby. How close can we get with Pabby with 1 Gumbo and 2 Pawpsicles? This is 9. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 we can get to with what we've got now. That's pretty close, but not close enough, so I guess we have to do it this way. I want to see how many of these ring the bells they have left. 1, 2, 3. So they still have 1 in their deck. I think I am just going to run this out. And I'm just going to eat this because we're going to need that to win. Because if they have wheel, they're probably going to have to use it. Cheshire Cat, sure. Tinkerbell. And a beast. Choosing not to do any damage. Okay, that's fine. Is it fine? This is 1, 2, 3. Jeez, it's not fine. I lied. I think I threw this game right in the garbage. Okay, we have to dodge 1 turn. Because if they attack with these, we can probably kill them with Pabby then. Because this will go to 15. We can easily heal 3 times next turn, especially with the teeth. Oh, I guess we're dead. God. Okay, well, we threw that game right in the garbage. Literally just... We had the game under control, and then we took it and just threw it in the garbage. So that was cool. So don't do that if you're watching. Next time, not that one. Don't misclick your cards and then play them in the wrong order. This hand is fucking terrible. Develop Your Brain is a card, but we're not going to win this match. Most likely. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. We'll take the shield and say go. This is likely against red-purple. Oh my god. Okay. Pinocchio. Neat. This is the same deck that Primor's been on for, like, their entire grind, so... I have a lot of experience with it, and we're just dead because of this Arthur. Play this, ink this, say go. We can, in theory, kill the Arthur with this Maui, assuming that they don't have another LaFoe. If they have a LaFoe, we're just super dead already. Well, there's a Be Prepared. We're going to take 5, 6, 7. They're going to go to like 16. The Tremaine is a good draw. Realistically. But I don't necessarily think that we have a shot here. This is a very aggressive start from them. Arthur's a huge problem a lot of times. and we're still reeling a little bit from the previous game, so I can't believe I threw that in the garbage. That's really too bad, but it happens. We'll just have to learn for next time to be a little bit more pointed about our turns. I think that's where the control decks are a lot trickier too. The sequencing of your plays matters a lot more. And in retrospect, I very easily could have just played the Be Prepared and killed our own Tamatoa, and it would have been fine. It probably would have been better so that we weren't just in a bad spot there. We could leave the Merlin in play. Like, we don't actually have to kill it now as much, because we can just kill the Arthur with something else. And then we still have our Be Prepared to follow up later, but we're just dead to, like, goats anyway. Then we don't get to draw any more cards. Let's ink this to start. If we Be Prepared now, we don't have any real answer to this Arthur later. I think I'm just going to do this. And then say go. If they just play a Mim here, I'll just concede. Okay, you got me. Alright, I fucked it. Can I get out of the game, please? Okay, well, we fucked it. We win this game very easily if I play better. But instead of blowing up their board, we didn't, so, well, that's 10 points. So, I think I'm going to call it here then. I mentally just am not there for it if I'm making errors that egregious. That was pretty rough. But I appreciate everybody for watching anyway. Let's see if anybody else is even on. It's pretty late. It doesn't look like anybody else is grinding any Lorcana, so I guess we will call it for now, and I will see everybody next time. Thanks for hanging out.